Hey, let's start our math lesson today. We're still talking about area. We've done just a regular area where you count the squares. We did area of a rectangle where it was length times width. And now it's the area of so this rectangle was length times width. Your square is side times side. So the area of a square can be found by using the formula A equals S times S, side times side. When a number is squared, and then it also can be written, I'm on page 263 in your math book, can be written like this, which means squared. And it says when a number is squared, the number is multiplied by itself. So, if we look at the examples, 4 squared is the same as saying 4 times 4 is 16. 9 squared is saying 9 times 9 is 81. 14 squared is just saying 14 times 14 equals 196. And like in your example, 5 times 5 is 25. So it's just saying and they're always going to be the same number with a square because you know all the sides are equal in a square. So we're going to look number 1A together. Okay, it says Mr. Thomas is planting grass in the front yard. His yard is a square that is 30 feet on each side. How many square feet of grass must he plant? So for 1A, if he has a yard that is a square and it's 30 feet on each side, you're going to take your area formula and say 30 times, I got a 2 up there. Where'd that come from? Okay, times 30. Side times side. So you have 30 times 30. So, what is 30 times 30? Think about it. Do that math problem right now. We're on page 263. That's where your math book should be open at right now. Well, let's work it. You know, if you multiply something by 0, it's going to be what? It's going to be a 0. And then 3 times 3 is what? Can't hear you. It's 9. So the answer would be 900 feet, or it would be actually 900 squared feet. Because when you're talking about area, it's squared feet. Okay, let's look at number 2A. Find the area of the squares with these dimensions. Okay, the sides are 9.3 feet. So you're going to multiply 9.3 times 9.3. So let's work it together. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 9 is, can't hear you. Okay, 3 times 9 is 27. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 9 is 81. That makes it 83 when you add the 2. Bring down my 9. 7 plus 7 is 14. 2 plus 3 is 5. Plus 1 more is 6. Now, where is my decimal going to go? Well, they each have one number behind the decimal. So I'm going to have 2 numbers behind my decimal. Alright, I'm going to review some 3 math problems with you right now. Hold on. Got some dust in my nose, I guess. Alright. I want everybody to look at number 5 on page 264. I'm going to review some temperature problems. That's one of the last things we taught before we got out with all this coronavirus. So I was just going to review it, make sure you can remember how to do it. And then I was also going to do one more problem with you on that page, just as a review to make sure, hey, I do remember how to do that. Or, oh, I forgot. Let me refresh my memory. Okay? So let's look at 5A and 5B. So we're going to do 5A first. So it's giving you the area, it's giving you the degrees in Fahrenheit, and you have to find the degrees Celsius. So I bet some of you are thinking, oh man, which formula do I use for this one? You're going to use the 5/9 Fahrenheit minus 32. It's saying 5/9 times parentheses Fahrenheit minus 32. Well, remember, I told you, you always do what's in the parentheses first. Well, it tells you the Fahrenheit was 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So you would say 86 minus 32. That would be the first step to do. Take your Fahrenheit, subtract it from 32. And you should be subtracting it from 32. Remember when we were talking about temperature, 32 degrees Fahrenheit is what water freezes at. So you need to take that away, because Celsius is always a smaller number. So 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. Now you have to multiply that by the 5/9. So you say 5/9 times 54. You know when you're multiplied by a whole number, you have to add that 1 under it. You know this can be canceled out. What times 9 would give you 54? That would be 6. 5 times 6 is what? So the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. Because you do not have to bring the 1 under it. Okay, let's look at 5B. I'm going to do them both on the same board so you can see the difference in the 2 formulas you have to use for temperature. Okay? So B says 10 degrees Celsius equals what degrees Fahrenheit? So you're going to use flip the fraction 9/5 times Celsius plus 32. When you're adding that 32, you know you should be going to Fahrenheit, because Fahrenheit usually is a bigger number than Celsius. Well, there's no parentheses in this one of what you do first, but you have to follow your rules or your hold on, my mom would make, sorry guys, your rules of operation. You always multiply or divide first, then add and subtract. So you do have multiplication here. It's 9/5 times C, or times Celsius. And the Celsius in this problem was 10. So you would say 9/5 times 10 degrees Celsius. You know if you're multiplying by a whole number, you add the 1 under it. You know those two can cancel out. And you would get 9 times 2 is 18. Where you're going to subtract, you're going to add that to 32. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry my 1, circle it so you don't forget them. You don't want to forget your little friend. 3 plus 1 plus 1 more. 3 plus 1 is 4. Plus 1 more is 5. And it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit is your answer. So, in case you forgot those, when you're going from Fahrenheit to Celsius, you use this formula. When you're going from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you're given this number, or this formula, because you have the Fahrenheit number already here, and you have the Celsius number already there. So that's a little review on temperature. And you can always go back and look in your book if you're really doing and follow along like what I was doing and doing the examples with me. If you go back in your book and you actually were following along like I told you to do, you have examples of these books already written down. You have the examples at the top of the page that will help you. If you are ever confused and you can't get in touch with me. All right, let's do one more. We're going to do 8A. On that page, which is subtracting fractions and where your top number does not have a fraction. And I'm going to show you remember how to do that. Okay. So it's 8A. If you look at this problem, you're subtracting. Yes, your whole numbers are your big numbers on top, the little numbers on bottom, but you have no fraction over here to subtract. So what are you going to have to do? Well, what is the denominator? The denominator is the bottom number. That's 11. So you know you're actually going to take a whole number away to make a fraction. You know you were going to use 11 because this one had 11. And you took a whole number away. 11 over 11 is a whole number. So 11 minus 1 is 10 over 11. Well, if you look, if you have 2 pieces of candy, can you take 7 away? Can you give 7 friends? No, you can't. So you're going to borrow from your neighbor. Let me borrow my cup of sugar so I can make some candy. You're going to add them back to your friend. Now you can have 12 and give something out for 7 people if you have 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. 8 minus 2 is 6. So you have 65, 10 over 11. Because I have a feeling some of you might have forgot how to do that. So that was your little review in math and your area. So if you have any questions, let me know, guys. Class. Bye, class.